Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at energy fuels. It is time for another update, and today we will be discussing the movement that has occurred to the upside here from the local low in the wave 4, as well as the relevant support and resistance areas to look out for here in the very short time frame. Now, before we get there, I would like to go quickly through the larger time frame for any of you who might be new. And here we are basically tracking a wave 1 up and a wave 2 down, and now we are looking for the third wave to the upside to be forming. Since we are expecting to form a wave 3 in this area, we would need to see certain price targets reached to have actually the structural expectations confirmed. If we fail to reach here around the $130 level, the 138.2% extension of the wave 1, well, it would have quite some serious implications about our future expectations for the structure that would form in this area, and some of them could in fact be quite bearish, where we should expect price breaks even below the $3 level. If we fail to reach here the third wave to the upside, the $130 level, the 138.2% extension, we have a couple of scenarios in which we expect quite a serious retracement, and in one of them we could again expect even below the beginning of this entire structure to the upside. Even targets below this level to be reached. Now, I won't go through the exact expectation, the exact structures that we would be tracking in this video. I did cover that in almost all the videos that we have covered on this channel about the energy fields. You can check out the previous video. I covered that thoroughly in that video. But for now, we are going to focus specifically on this structure to the upside, where in all scenarios we would still like to see at least another high. Even if we don't get to that ideal target, we would like to see a fifth wave form to the upside in this area, where the structure that we are tracking right now is ideally within an impulse where we have a 1, 2 and third complete. We are looking here at a wave 4 where ideally we have already bottomed, and we are looking for the fifth wave to the upside. Now, this structure remains valid as an impulse only as long as we hold the 50% retracement, but it could technically still work out to provide an additional high even if we break below into the 61.8% retracement at the $8.6 level instead. Right now, we have a full count, and that is mainly the reason that we expect and that we would like to ideally have already formed a bottom, where within this structure we even have a couple of options on how we can track it, but the details don't matter too much. In the previous video, however, I have provided you the possibility for further extensions lower in a certain scenario, and those expectations have now kind of been broken. We have pushed here above the 61.8% retracement, so we don't necessarily expect a further extension to the downside within this overall wave 3. However, I have to say, further extensions to the downside are not completely impossible even within this overall ABC structure that we would expect to form in this area in yellow. So while this exact interpretation, where we have an ABC structure unfolding in the wave 3 to the downside, is not really applicable anymore, it is quite an unlikely interpretation. I could still see further extensions in the scenario where this third wave would have indeed bottomed here, this fourth wave would have topped here, and then this fifth wave could still extend within the ABC pattern within this area. Now, this is similar to the interpretation we had in the previous video. I did adjust it to provide you the resistance area to look out for and what we could expect if we were to follow it. But since this is no longer the case, the only relevant area of resistance that I can watch out for right now is for a possible ABC pattern to be unfolding, and in this case we could allow this retracement to go all the way up to the 78.6% retracement instead, and that would be up to the $15.7 level, where if we manage to break above that in a sustained manner, it would be quite a significant signal that we have a bottom here within this fifth wave to the downside. Now, as I was saying, I actually prefer that we had already bottomed. I am already looking for the initial 5-wave move to the upside to have the initial 1-2 setup, and in fact I may even be able to consider this valid within this interpretation where we have a 1-2, third, fourth and the fifth formed here in this area to the upside, and I am already looking for the initial 1-2 setup, although keep in mind this is on a smaller time frame. Yeah, this isn't a large 1-2 setup that is highly reliable. If we are to build this larger structure, however, yeah, if we form here, if we follow through in the 1, 2, 3rd, 4th, and the 5th, it would be a larger and much more reliable wave 1 to the upside, and we would be looking for an even more reliable retracement and trade setup here in the wave 2 correction. However, we are not there yet. We are still looking for this tiny 1-2 setup, and we have a possible area of support that we can be tracking for this interpretation between the $13.7 level all the way down to the $12.6 level. Now, this area of support assumes that we have topped here within the wave 1, and we might have, but I cannot necessarily have a heavy confirmation on this. Yeah, it is on a very small time frame, and it could extend very easily to the upside, still push into even higher prices, maybe, who knows, into the 78.6% retracement before we start our larger correction. But for now, this is what we need to be focusing on. And with this said, these are pretty much the levels that we need to watch out for. Yeah, from a small time frame perspective, we have this area of support in white, which is largely into quite deep levels in the larger area of support in green, and from a large time frame perspective, this is quite an interesting area to be looking for an opportunity. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. It is your choice if you choose to get an entry in this area or not. You may have your own preference in terms of risk assessment. You may want to be waiting for the larger 5-wave move to the upside in a larger wave 1 to be formed, and then enter in the secondary correction in the follow-up wave 2. It would still likely be within the area of support, but yeah, I cannot guarantee that, because remember, within this 5th wave, we could easily extend to the 138.2% extension, which was around the $130 level. Well, in that case, within a wave 1, we may extend into something like a 1, 2, 3, 4th, and the 5th. Yeah, this could be the wave 1. We may have just a shallow quick retracement in a wave 2, and then push directly into a 3rd wave to the upside. That is completely plausible, and we may not get to these prices again. But again, I'm not telling you what to do. This is your choice to make, and I am only trying to provide the relevant data, the data that I see as key levels based on the structure that we have formed here, yeah, using the Elliott wave theory method. Now, with that said, we are looking here to break for resistance here in the short time frame. We are looking to break the 78.6% retracement, the $15.7 level, and for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.